Hello, friends, neighbors. John, your Wiz neighbor here. Welcome down to the Nook. I know it's Thursday, but a couple of things lined up that I thought maybe I should shoot a whiskey. One, Oilers are going to have a great game tonight, and two, Grainhenge sent me this sample, and they are launching this whiskey today. This is Morningside. It is a single malt whiskey from Grainhenge, which is like the whiskey side of Trouble Monk. And it's finished in maple syrup casks, which is so classic Canadian. Maybe that's going to be a good thing for the Oilers tonight. I'm not sure. But they asked, since they sent me the sample, if I would talk about it today. So here I am. I don't mind talking about whiskey people send me. This is Morningside from Grainhenge. And then, I'll shoot it or compare it to a single malt that I bought from them. This is Elevator Row. So maybe this maple syrup versus just new oak cask can get me a sense of what their single malt is like. When you pour a dram, and we'll sip together very quickly before we run off and watch the game together. 3, 4. Well, thanks for coming back. As I said in the opener, Grainhenge, the whiskey side of Trouble Monk, sent me this Morningside sample, and it's a big sample. It's 59.9% whiskey, and it was ex-bourbon, but it was finished in maple syrup cask. Now, they have a description sheet here quite long that says it's not flavored whiskey. And fair, when we finish an ex-sherry or ex-wine or ex-Madeira or any of those casks, the whiskey will inherit what's in the cask. And that's what they're saying here. We did our single malt, we've done an ex-bourbon, and now we've done it in ex-maple syrup. So this is it here. It's natural, non-chill filter, very, very light color. Let's see what it's like. This is Morningside from Grainhenge on the nose. The maple syrup here really is dominant. It is pancakes. It's a beautiful morning. Yeah, there's a little bit of pastry. There's a little bit of single malt kind of nuttiness, but it is so maple syrup in the nose. It just is. And not bad. I certainly enjoy maple syrup. So let's give it a try on the palate. Cheers. Well, the palate hits a little bit different and a little bit more complex than the nose, which for me is a good thing. There's still that maple syrup sweetness, but now it's a darker sugar, a darker brown sugar, and there's a bit of, I'll say almost bitterness, but it plays into some spicing, some baking spices, a little bit cracked pepper, and there's a bit of oak on there as well. I better take another sip. Cheers. So the second sip didn't really change too much. It almost brought a little bit more of that maple syrup back into it. So they're not hiding the fact that they finished this in maple syrup. They're proud that it is a maple syrup cask, not some kind of flavor additive. The nose is so strong, maple syrup. It's sweet, it's tasty, it's pancakes in the morning. My wife's from Ontario. If she loved whiskey and she really only likes the nose, I bet she'll love this. And thankfully for me, the palate does bring in a little more malt quality, a little more spicing, a little light bit more of oak, because I'm hoping for a whiskey, not a cocktail. My early thoughts on this is it's going to appeal to those who like sweetness on the nose. It really, really is a unique dark maple syrup on the nose. But the palate itself needs a second act. It's not bad. It's good. It's sweet. It's nice. It's good single malt. It's good oak. But it really stays in that arena. I know if you're a Grainhenge fan, if you love the whiskey from Trouble Monk, you better actually stop watching me right now and go online and buy this release. And the reason why I'm saying that is I got a notification halfway through the day, like just through email, and they said, yeah, just so you know, we're half sold out of this Morningside release. So, if Grainhenge, which is putting out really good whiskey, they're Arrowwood, rye just cleaned up at the Canadian Whisky Awards this last year. And I have appreciated everything that's come out of this. This, maybe I need a bit more time to enjoy it. It's good, but it is strongly maple syrup. You know, I'm going to come back and talk about this single malt, but my thoughts here is if you like sweet maple syrup whiskey, yeah, you better get on there and pick it up. Well, thanks for staying with me for a comparison here. This is also Grainhenge, the whiskey side of Trouble Monk. And I picked this. This is Elevator Row because it's another single malt. It's a little younger, 43 months versus 48. And it has both two-row and dark Munich, whereas I think this just has the two-row barley. But I thought, you know what? It's a beautiful bottle. It's good to see how that looks. And you can kind of see how, you know, this is ex-bourbon and ex-maple syrup. It is so light and so maple syrup sweet. But this is also natural color, non-chill filtered, and it's much darker, and that's because it's got new oak, both number 3 and number 4 char. So let's see what their single malt, but in new oak instead of ex-maple syrup is like on the nose. You know, it's sweet and sour. It's got a little bit of orchard fruit, green apple, pear, sweetness, but it's got a little bit of lemon, a little bit of sourness. It's got a little bit of sweetness in terms of malt sugar. Nothing even on the same scale as the sweetness of the maple syrup. We better give this a try. Cheers. All the flavors on that sip are a lot closer to whiskey flavors you may be a bit more familiar with. We've got some malt sugar, a little bit of nut, grain, huskiness, have some oak tannins, actually some fresh oak, a little bit of char, and you know, it's playing into, yeah, it's also got some brown sugar, this one, but this is like super sweet, dark sugars. It's got a little bit of sugar, a little bit of spice, more oak, more grain, more whiskey notes that you're used to. I really applaud Grainhenge for trying out maple syrup finished casks. And as I said earlier, you know, if you're interested at all in this kind of pancake whiskey, you better get on there because they're going to be sold out, I bet, by the end of the day. But this, aside from a unique, sweet, interesting nose, is a little bit far from their single malt, nutty, husky, oaky style, which I actually am quite a fan of. Early thoughts. I just poured this sample with you guys. I just tried it out here, and I'm glad I did because, you know, they're Alberta. They're putting out natural color, non-chill filter. They're trying with, you know, maple syrup casks. This is a great Canadian whiskey, which would be a great pour for the game that's coming up tonight. I gotta finish this video and edit it because it's gonna be a fantastic game. Have you tried maple syrup whiskey? Probably not this unless you bought it right away. But what do you think about whiskeys that are finished in unusual casks and end up with a significant flavor from that cask, right? This maple syrup cask is very much a nice pancake breakfast on a Saturday weekend. You guys, thanks for joining me. We're going to go edit this and enjoy a great game together. Take care.